Hey everybody, welcome back to Dream Garage. Brock here doing a video for you guys tonight. I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple cars and I got something cool to show you guys here in just a minute. But just to tell you how many cool cars there are out there. This is my wife's XT5 that she drives on a daily basis, and for an SUV it's pretty nice. It's a 19 and it's got the heated seats and the nav, which most cars have nowadays. Really good gas mileage for what it is. It's a really neat car. So you guys have seen the bike, you've seen the Vet. No, I'm not talking about those today. Today, I'm actually talking about this. And this is cool. It is a 2009 Mercedes S63 AMG. Now, some people, sedans, they're not supercars, they're not fast, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different perception on what a sedan can be, what it is. However, this car is over 500 horsepower. It's actually 518. This has got a 6.3 liter V8 supercharged motor on it. We just took this in on trade at Hare Chevrolet. That's where I work. And I actually brought it home because we've talked about buying it. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It kind of depends on some things. However, I couldn't pass this opportunity up to do a review on this car because maybe if we don't buy it, maybe it's you that wants to. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So this car is about as clean as you're going to find an 09 with 69,000 miles on it. It's got low miles for the year. That's well under 10,000 miles a year. This car is just sweet. When I drove it home, it has the power if you want it, but it has the neat luxury feel if you just want to cruise. And I'll be honest, this is the first Mercedes S-Series car that I've ever driven, and I was thoroughly impressed. I think down the road, if we don't get this one, that this would definitely be something down the road I would like to own. Very stylish. The nice thing about the S-Series, they did an uplift, and I know some people might shoot me for this, but I think it's between 14 and 15. And when they did that, they upgraded the headlights, they upgraded the grille, they upgraded some different things, obviously to make this car look newer and more modern. However, for a Mercedes at an 09, if I wasn't a car guy, I wouldn't know the difference. And the reason being is because this car is so clean. In the 2000s, GM cars were, and domestics, they were just so far behind imports. Now, post 2012, actually the domestic cars caught up very well. The Impala, the XTS, the CT6 in Cadillac, the Malibus, all of those cars did catch up to the imports, German and Italian cars. But in the 2000s, if you wanted a cool car outside of a CTSV, it was really hard to get past going to something like this. Now, just this paying attention to the detail, the black stripes on the taillights, the 4 exhaust tips that you see here. The car actually sounds decent for being stock exhaust. You could make this thing loud and very hefty in a minute with a car like this with aftermarket exhaust. But if you take a look, I mean, the size of this car is good. I mean, it's a good size. The trunk in here, I mean, you can tell these people took care of this car. You know, it's got the AMG for your floor mats, all of those, paying attention to little details. Personally, for me, if a Mercedes is an AMG, it just does a lot more for me rather than a non-AMG, partly because of the power, but part of it is because of the details that the AMG offers. It does have a thin rear spoiler on it, which I just think makes it look a real classy, which is really neat. The wheels, I mean, guys, these wheels are just sharp. I mean, they don't have a pit that I saw on them. And these are actually, if I can find it, these are actually a 20-inch rear tire. So the wheel is a 20-inch in the front and in the rear, and let's see if it's a staggered or if it's an actual 20 in the front. And based off the size, it is. It's actually 20 front and rear. Just take a look down that. I mean, the tire width for a sedan, the way it sticks out at the bottom, just has that aggressive look with that little outside on the fender. I mean, it's just such a neat car. But I want to show you the inside. and how cool this is. So on the inside, I'm gonna get in here. I'm 6'2" and 300 pounds. For me, sitting in the back seat of a car is just not realistic on a majority of cars. So this one, I can literally close the door, sit comfortably. I have full power seats in the back. I can actually recline in here. Has heated and cooled rear seats. It has vents on the back windows and in the back glass. So you can actually make this a lot better for light for kids if they want to take naps. But the cool part about this car, in my opinion, on the inside is obviously from the captain's chair or driver's seat, whichever you prefer. I'm going to start this up for you guys. So this, again, stock exhaust. Everything about this car is stock. This is not, and I apologize, let me turn that off because obviously I don't want any kind of copyright infringement. I think that's pretty strong for stock exhaust. I mean, you know, obviously, like I said, you can go aftermarket, you can make this thing rowdy in a heartbeat, but for a stock exhaust car, it does sound good, and the pickup and go is just awesome. It's cool to see how these cars looked and how you use them comparative to nowadays. Like just the little details, little phone. I mean, you know, that's neat. I mean, you got your buttons here for your phone numbers. It's like dialing on an old flip phone. I mean, that's really cool. This is your adjustment for like your radio station and things like that. You know, you have, there's volume controls here, turning it on, turning it off, hazard lights. Obviously you can switch between the disc and radio and telephone and nav. That shows up in this screen here. Let's go ahead and flip to the nav here. So obviously you can tell the technology is out of date versus the newer cars. However, like most people, for myself, I really don't use nav on a car that much. I use it on my phone. So for me, it's more of just a screen to look at, and if you just want a glimpse to see what road you're on, you can kind of use that. But even on the inside, just the instrument cluster, I mean, you know, 200 miles an hour, the rev, look at this. It goes rev match to 7,200 RPMs. That is more than my Corvette. My Corvette runs about 64. And, you know, and that helps obviously a car get going, and as far as top end speed, how to get there, and its aggression against other competitors, because if you only rev to 5,000 RPMs, it's a lot harder to beat a car that revs to 7 or 65 based on the fact that you're going to be shifting quicker. So you're going to get back down to the low end going back up, versus you get a lot more speed because you're revving at a higher RPM prior to shifting. So, you know, to shift on a sedan at 7,200 RPMs, that is amazing. You know, the steering wheel, very nice. It's got the ventilated part here, and then the full leather wrapped, which is really nice. But guys, this car is just so clean. You know, you have the really nice suede styled headliner. This guy just took such good care of this car. It's amazing. It has the HomeLink for your garage door. It has the just regular mirror here. And then obviously, like I said, you've got memory seats for both sides, full power, heated and ventilated seats. It just doesn't get much better, in my opinion, when it comes to a car like this, especially of this stature. Now, the next thing that I would look, and there's a CD player, which nowadays is obsolete, which is kind of cool to see that. The other thing, when I look at a car like this, knowing what the sticker was on this car, it actually was 130, just shy of $130,000. It's pretty crazy to think that a car like this priced at 130 grand, and what that equivalents to in today's market. What's crazy is this car is actually around 28 grand now. And yes, it's 12 years old. I understand that. There's depreciation that happens on these cars all the time. When they're making new cars of the model, they make so many years of the model. Obviously, that car is going to take a hit. However, $28,000 for a car like this in this shape is a no-brainer. I mean, it is just phenomenal. You get such a good driving experience. You have the sportiness if you want it. You have the looks and the luxury that this car offers. I just love everything about it. So I was so excited to be able to drive this home. Showed my wife and my daughter, and like I said, I love cars like this. I think that they don't get enough credit, even though they are older, to be able to say that this still is such phenomenal car to drive and to own. So don't know if we're going to pull the trigger on it, just for, you know, making sure the financials make sense for what we're getting out of to this. However, if we do not, this car is for sale at Hare Chevrolet in Noblesville. And I can tell you, there's not anything wrong with this car. There's no lights on. It handles well. The bolsters in the seats, in the back of the driver's seat, even filters to your body when you turn. Has night vision. I mean, it's amazing the technology and advancement this car had versus now that our domestics have caught up in the last, I'd say, 5 to 7 years, maybe even 8. This car was such ahead of its time, and I don't think they get enough credit for what they are. And so wanted to show you guys the car. Such a clean car. And if you want to know more information about this car, if we don't decide to move forward, please let me know, because like I said, this car is for sale. I mean, if we don't buy it, it's for sale, and we'll know for our sake in the morning. So guys, phenomenal car. Had to show it to you, had to share this with you. I don't think it gets much better in a four-door sedan than what I'm looking at right here with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this car and like videos like this, please hit that thumbs up button, hit that bell so you know when the notifications are coming. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider it. We are trying to grow ourselves, grow this business. This event's going to be awesome. And if you want to see more cars like this and even further exotics, this is where this event comes in handy, because you might not be a sports car guy, but maybe you're a sedan guy. Maybe you're not a sedan guy, but you're a truck guy. Maybe it's a bike, maybe it's a boat or anything like that. That's what this channel is about. That's what we're doing here at Dream Garage. And I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this. Always remember to dream big, don't quit, and make sure you guys have a wonderful night. I'm gonna give you one last snapshot of this car, and then I will see you guys in the next one. And that's the way to end it.